Why were you grabbing it and then not? Okay, we're literally already fighting. Okay, everyone back me up on this. James comes in, he goes, oh my God, you don't have water. Goes to the sink and then just gets his own water. Wouldn't someone go, oh my God, I don't have water, and then come back with 2 waters?
You know what? You talk so fast, I don't know if anyone can understand what
I'll start again from the beginning. Walks over, looks, goes, oh wow, said, you don't have water. Leaves, comes back with his own water. So then I said, James gave me water, and then Ramin texts me and says, bitch, get your own water.
One of the reasons I love Ramin.
Ramin, first of all, you should be in bed. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning in London.
You're the one who invited him, Seth.
I never thought he'd say yes. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to Stars in the House. Ha ha. Get out of here. All right. Welcome to Stars in the House, guys. So I'm Seth. This is James. Oh, my God. We have so many fans out there. Like 1 million comments already.
I know, right?
This is the live stream we do twice a day. We do it at 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock. We started in March. We've done maybe 100.
I've lost track.
We started for the Actors Fund, and we've raised over
$350,000.
Yeah, and then starting last Monday, we pivoted right now because of this giant civil rights struggle that's happening everywhere, and we are now raising money for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And where's our little thing that says LDF on the bottom?
I don't know. Do you want to put the banner on?
Yeah, I'll put the banner
at the bottom.
Why don't you do you have the LDF?
I do actually, because these were some. So we were actually at a march in our little town earlier today. So we pre-taped our intro and the intermission for Blithe Spirit, starring Leslie Uggams, who's been on the show twice. So it's actually her 3rd appearance on Stars in the House this week. We love her. But there was Shelley Williams directed it, and she had done it like a month ago. And Leslie had Wi-Fi issues. So all of that was straightened out, but there were still technical issues, and we saw some of them. Like times that Shelley came in and they just talked. And I was watching it online, and it was like really great conversation. So the show ran long, and the whole show was seen, but it was really cool. But some of these are the donations that came in.
Yeah, so here's them. Well, I want to know what LDF is now. That's what I was saying. You don't have it there?
I don't know what that is.
So this is what he's about to read. You donate at NAACPLDF.org/Stars in the House. That way we know where it's coming from. Then you're going to get a receipt going, thank you for donating, blah, blah, blah. Forward that to starsinthehouse2020@gmail.com, and then I will forward that receipt to one of the Phantoms, and they will sing it. I'm sorry, they'll lip sync it. Because that's what they mainly do in Phantom, which we'll be discussing later. You heard what I said. Lip syncing. Okay, so you donate at Stars. You donate at NAACPLDF.org/Stars in the House. Then forward your receipt to starsinthehouse2020@gmail.com.
And maybe you'll be read like I'm about to do. But we can say that I don't have the. Or what are you looking for?
The LDF thing I had it.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to have it here, but we can say that it was founded in 1940 by Thurgood Marshall, who helped come up with the legal strategy to end segregation in the United States, and he became the first African American to be on the Supreme Court. So it's got a long, wonderful history, and we're happy to support them. And I'm going to read some of the donations that came in
from the afternoon.
This is, oh, wow. Someone already done. This isn't even for this afternoon. This is for already tonight. Sherry.
I know we have
donated $25.
So many fans here.
When I took my niece to New York City in 2014, we had tickets to see Phantom because Mr. Lewis was so fantastic. We went to see it a second time.
Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop? Bye-bye.
He made the Phantom seem like a person rather than a freak. Amazing. We also saw Mr. Karimloo in Les Mis, which was also wonderful. Looking forward to the show and happy to contribute to this cause. How nice. We also want to thank Julie, who donated $25, Don, who donated $25 for this afternoon, and what is that? I don't know. Bob, who donated $25 from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Stuart, $18, Ryan, $50, who I don't know if he's a teacher at C.E. Bird High School, but he's with the theater department there, and Kathy, who donated $25. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Ryan from C.E. Bird High School theater department.
Oh, okay, great.
He's from the theater department. He donated $50. So thank you guys. I love how Seth continues. Yeah. We'll be talking about that. So here's the deal, guys. You know where to donate and start forwarding those receipts now, and I'll be sending them out. Ramin's going to set your donations to music. Norm is going to hit a high A flat. Howard's going to have a sassy quip. And where is Hugh here? Hugh's going to play a concerto. I know Hugh's there. Great.
Here.
Okay, so here we go.
And Dr. LaPook will come in hopefully at some point. We just sent him to us.
So we had an Alphabet reunion from Wicked. And now we are having a Phantom reunion from Phantom. Please welcome to the stage now our 4 Phantoms. First of all, Hugh Panaro, who was so nervous his tech wouldn't work, but he's here. Hi, Hugh.
I am so low tech.
But you know what? You look great.
And you sound great.
And then we have Ramin Karimloo all the way from London. He's so exhausted.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, we'll see how long you have.
Hey, brother.
Then we have you guys catch up later, off mic. Then we have the longest running Phantom. He's done over 800,000 performances. Mr. Howard McGillin. Hi, Howard. And then we have the fabulous, my good pal. I probably know Norm longer than any of you guys, I think. Mr. Who's birthday, Norm Lewis.
Hi, Norm.
Okay. So for those of you here, can you maybe so for those of you new to this platform, it's the kind of thing where like you can't talk at the same time as somebody else because all the sound stops. So as much as all I want to do is interrupt you two and be commenting, you can't talk at the same time. So you have to just nod knowingly and then basically lift your mask and then make your comment. Okay, so let's go back. I'd love to know, I don't really know exactly. I don't quite know how all of you guys got the role. You were all Phantoms. So Hugh Panaro, you were a Raul at first, right?
Yes, yeah.
How did you graduate to the Phantom?
Like many Raoul's, I never really had my sights set on the Phantom, truthfully. And I had just finished doing Showboat for Hal in London, and he called and said that the gentleman playing the Phantom at present was going to take a leave of absence, and he just said, do you want to do 6 months? And I was like, okay. And that was my first time in 1999, and I had no idea how much joy it would bring me. I sometimes we don't know what's best for us.
I love it. And what about you, Ramin? I know that when they offered you Valjean, you were like, absolutely not. But Phantom, I feel you coveted Phantom, right?
Yeah, well, like Hugh, Raul was my first stab at the production. And then it's obviously Phantom was a dream role. And in London, when we have the standby, when I was 26, I went in as the standby for a year, and then thankfully the position opened up and they offered me the full-time position straight after that.
So in London, because on Broadway, there's no standby. There's just the understudy. In London, there's actual standby?
Yeah. Great position. You're at home. If you don't get called by 3, night's yours.
Are you on a beeper?
What'd you say?
I said, are you on a beeper system?
Yeah, it was around that time. But you could just get a call. So
you're showing your age. I'm saying I have a cassette tape.
Yeah, Ramin.
A few months went by, and but that's actually quite frightening because you're not in the building, you're not hearing the show. So after 2 months, okay, you're on. Be like, oh my God, you gotta.
But Ramin, do you have rehearsals at all in between? That's a long time to go without doing it.
Yeah, not once all the other understudies are up and running. There's not that many. You might check in once a month, once every 2 months. But then once winter comes and flu and sickness and colds come around, you're on a lot.
So it isn't on Broadway, like every Thursday afternoon, understudies get together and run through the show. That isn't how it works in London.
Not from what I remember. Definitely
wow.
No.
Holy cow,
that's scary.
So you would just get a fax and you were on. Howard McGillin, we worked together in Spider-Woman, and the next thing I know, we were working together in Phantom for like 10 years. How many years did you do Phantom?
Way too many. I did it 3 years on, and then I took 2 years off. Hugh and I dovetailed each other both times. Yes, Hugh. So yeah, we were doing Spider-Woman. I think I had left Spider-Woman. And Hal called and said there's an opening. It was Hugh who was going off to do Martin Guerre. Am I right?
Yes.
Do I have the sequence right, Hugh?
You got it.
And
I'm not wearing
so
but yes, you got it right.
So I took over for Hugh, and then I left to do Bounce, which didn't bounce, but we did. And Hugh took over again. Am I right?
Yes, you got it, bro.
And then I went in after Hugh left.
Wow.
So the total, I was there a total of 7 years over a 10-year period.
Wow.
And how many times did you let your soul take you where you want to be? How many times did you take it down the octave?
Never. Come on.
Not once. Over 2,500 performances at the Majestic.
Wow.
Insane.
That is incredible. And Normie Lewis,
Yes.
were you coveting the role?
That's why.
Yeah. So I'll try to make it quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you don't have to make it quick. You got time.
So my story is, I saw it. I was actually up in Toronto. I saw Hugh do Showboat up there, and then I finally saw Phantom of the Opera, and I saw Colin Wilkinson do the role. And that day, I was like, I want to be in that show. I would love to do that role, but I didn't think that I would have a chance being an African American. But I did know that that Robert Guillaume had played it. But I figured he was a star, he had cachet, but yet he still had the chops. But I still coveted that role. And for 20 years, I kept telling everybody in interviews, I want to play this role. And finally, it came to a point where David Lai, David Caddick, and I were on a panel in Washington, D.C., and people were asking about minorities in Broadway, and also what is your role you want to play? And I said the Phantom. Hint, hint, nod, nod. Right. So they took that into account, and luckily, my friend, my brother, part of my family, Hugh Panaro, was playing the role. He decided that he didn't want to renew his contract, so that slot opened up. So there was a chance to go and audition for Hal and the rest of the creative team. And from that time, I remember going out on the stage, and I just remember people living and who have passed on, who were my heroes. They said, "Go do it, go get it," and that's what happened. I ended up getting it, and Hugh called me. I think it was that night.
Oh my God!
It was either that night or the next day, and he said, "Well, according to Hal, you have it, but you can't say anything yet." But I had to get approval by Andrew, and I had to get approval by Cameron McIntosh, and then I finally got it like 3 or 4 days later.
Wow.
Okay, so hold on. Oh wait, I'm trying to look. Where's the? Why is
Brand?
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
So you're saying you had to get approval from? Hold on.
I had to get Andrew Lloyd Webber and Hal and Cameron McIntosh.
You mean from this clown?
Yeah, that clown. Yeah.
Just saying. Okay, so Ramin, I know you haven't. It's funny. All the Phantoms kind of know each other, but I know you didn't know who have you not met? Howard before?
No, we've not met.
Real honor to meet him finally.
So I want Howard to hear, because you're talking about how you got the role, but you got to talk about when you were a kid, because it's such a crazy story about when you saw Phantom when you were a kid and your weird psychic vision.
Well, it was just a school trip. I came from a small town in Peterborough, Ontario. Anything to have a day off school, and we were going to go see this show called Phantom of the Opera. I had no idea what it was, but a day off school was a day off school, and I remember going to it, and we were at the Phantom educational program before the matinee, where they talk about theater and how the magic theater happens, from costumes to sounds to actually being on stage. And they pluck 3 volunteers. They end up picking me, and I'm trying not to be a clown on stage. And so I was the third one as part of the examples, and they gave me a mic, and they said, in the mic, just go, "I'm here, the Phantom of the Opera." And it was to show how they can throw the Phantom sound around. And now my friends are like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Just mucking about and just enjoying that. But I remember afterwards and seeing Calm, and actually I did see Hugh and Showboat in Toronto as well. But I saw Calm as well in Toronto. And I remember thinking, like Norm, I got to play that part. I want to play that part, that role. And I just thought, what a seed to be planted that day. And I remember leaving back on the school bus back to Peterborough, Ontario. I knew that's what I got to do.
But keep going, and you said to your friend.
Oh, right. Sorry. So then my friends out, a couple of years in high school, we're playing ice hockey. I'm one of the enforcers on the team. So you're trying to play this tough guy attitude, but like at home, I'm listening to Phantom and just daydreaming about doing that. They would rib me a lot. So I remember after a while, I said to my friend, "You know what? I bet you I'm going to become the Phantom of the Opera." And I made that bet at 16. And at 26, when
Hold on. You not only said, hold on. You said, not only am I going to be the Phantom of the Opera, but I'm going to be.
I said, I want to play him young. I'm going to be the youngest Phantom. I don't know why I said that at 16. It's irrelevant. The point is, I made that bet at the time, and there's ignorance is bliss sometimes. I didn't ever compute the competition or how it's a crazy thing to say, but whoever I met in my life, from when I used to work as a dishwasher in the back stop in Richmond Hall, Ontario, all the bosses knew what I want to do. No one ever said, that's never going to happen, or what a crazy dream. They're like, that's awesome. Yeah, go for it. You're going to do it. Why not? No one ever said it's not going to happen.
And did you tell your friend you finally played the damn role?
During the overture, I was getting my makeup on, and I said, hey, listen to this. And he heard the overture. He's like, oh, still with that stuff. I said, I'm about to go on. Gotta go.
It's awesome.
It's so amazing. So, Howard McGillin, you've done so many Broadway shows, you know, and everyone I talk to, like, always the things that aren't hard are hard. So I feel like you've done a million Broadway shows. Was Phantom a hard show for you to do? Because I feel like Druid was so high, Spider-Man was so dramatic. What was Phantom like for you?
I think Phantom was probably the most difficult physically of any show I've ever done. Just the and the intensity of the role, even though he is, you know, historically, everybody always talks about how, you know, he's only on for 35 minutes or whatever they say. It is the most act-packed, intense 2 hours I've ever spent, both backstage and on stage in my life. Yeah.
Like, what's physically hard about it?
Well, when you're not on stage screaming at the top of your voice and the top of your lungs, you're climbing ladders, you're, you know, falling through trapdoors, or at least used to be, right, Hugh? You know, it's just, and then it's just the level of intensity of this guy that makes it, I think I was wrung wet every night. And I know everybody I've ever talked to who played the role was the same.
Yeah.
Howard, was there, since you did it over such a long period of time, 10 years, was the makeup process, how did it change from your first year versus your last year that you were in it?
Yeah. Oh.
I love that.
Woo! Oh boy, you put me on the spot. No, all I can say is the makeup from when I first started till the time I ended was basically about an hour and change. I'm thinking it was maybe I started around 6:45 or 6:50, and I was there for I don't know, maybe more like 7. 7, 10. But you know, you were ready to go by 8:15, let's say.
Norm, what's your story?
Yeah.
Well, I will agree with Howard. I mean, I would say I was also, for me, it was more difficult because I feel like I'm one of the first baritones they ever hired. And in fact, when I got interviewed, they asked, because I was singing it for whatever network it was for. And they said, did they lower the key to David Caddick? And David said, no, it's just this guy has a lower voice. So it was difficult in that for me, just to make sure that I was on point every night vocally. But also, you are never alone. Like, you don't have time backstage by yourself at all. And I think I'm not the tallest, because I think Howard actually might have been the tallest in the fandom fraternity, I call it. But I think I'm the widest. Not saying that I'm fat, but I think I'm the widest guy that they ever had. It was hard and difficult in the Angel because we have long legs. And to not make that thing swing, you kind of have to just sit there, and you're in a crouch. And there's one little hole that you could like put your leg through to kind of give yourself some relief. And you would have to switch that because literally I had knee problems after this. But yeah, running up and down the stairs, climbing the ladders, it's difficult. It's one of the most difficult shows I've ever done.
You, Panaro, what about you? You're so fit. Was it hard for you?
I think we're going to take a moment from Norm and Howard and myself. We have to give Thelma Pollard, our makeup artist, a shout. Yes. Thelma Pollard!
Thelma! Thelma!
Well,
is that Howard?
That's Ramin.
I should give a shout out to our makeup artist here, Tanya Noor, And that photo, that was done by Chris Tucker, the guy who designed it all.
Wow.
So UK claps there.
It ain't pretty. So you, how long was your makeup session? You were before Howard, so you were kind of the early days, right? When it took a really long time.
You know what? It really depends. I'm Thelma. If you're listening, I love you.
But
it really depended upon how much we talked.
I knew you were going to say that.
and Thelma, and I used to sometimes put on like the Pandora station of like Whitney Houston, and we would just like have like crazy jam sessions in there, and it could take quite a while because there was it's hard to hit a moving target, and she would sit still.
That's such a funny buzz.
Just to add on to that, Thelma touched every Phantom that ever was on Broadway. She touched every head, and I think she's still there. I think she's still part of
the show.
Yeah, she came on my radio show around a year ago.
Yeah,
she's gotta go.
I love Hugh's acting preparation, by the way. Whitney Houston and Pandora.
Take it. So wait, how I have everyone is slotted to be singing. Howard, I want you to sing. I'm nervous that your Wi-Fi is clanky, but should we try it anyway? You've been freezing a couple of times, but maybe we'll just go for it and see what happens. And he's frozen. Wait.
No, he's just not talking.
He's just in shock.
Yeah, exactly.
Howard, what do you think? Are you up for singing something for us?
I'd be happy to.
All right, we're gonna see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna leave the screen. I'm gonna bring all the Phantoms away.
Okay. So I thought I'd sing a little Henry Mancini for us tonight.
Yes.
We're all kind of sequestered away in our little spaces, and I just love this song so much. It's about connection with someone, a lover, someone who's very special. So here we go. If you're feeling fancy free, come wander through the world with me. And any place we chance to be will be our rendezvous. Two for the road, we'll travel down the years, collecting precious memories, selecting souvenirs, and life the way we please. In summertime, the sun will shine. In winter, we'll drink summer wine. And every day that you are mine will be a lovely day. As long as love still wears a smile, I know that we'll be two for the road, and that's a long, long while. Two for the road, we'll travel down the years, selecting precious memories, collecting souvenirs and living life the way we please. In summertime, the sun will shine. In winter, we'll drink summer wine. And days that you mine will be a lovely day, as long as love still wears a smile. I know that we'll be two for the road, and that's a long, long
Howard, I first became obsessed with you in Druid, and you sound exactly the same. It's that beautiful tone. Ah, that was so lovely. You're frozen, by the way.
Goes talking there on the keyboard.
Of course. Oh my God. Everyone is writing. I love Howard so much. It's so great. All right, Howard. I'm going to show a little because I'm going to back to Phantoms for a second. Yep. Okay, so here's Normie, Ramin, and then you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Speaking of Howard, I love hearing about things that went wrong. Weren't you the one that would have like cab trouble during this?
Yeah. So the boat, the actual gondola was controlled by radio signals, and every once in a while a cab would be going out down the block outside, and the signal would interfere with the actual signal from the boat guy who's driving the boat, and it would stop. And then you get out on the water and pull the boat with Kristen as well.
Wait, you get out of the lake and walk on the stage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you at least pretend would you pretend you were in water at least? To be like, whoa, I'm so soggy.
Of course. Yeah. Well, of course.
Well,
you wouldn't get there, you just wanted to be sure you got down to your mark and hit the mark by the time all the fireworks started. But yeah, you do your best. I'm sure you had that happen. Norm, you must have.
Oh, I have a story where the boat almost went into the pit. Yeah, because the radio frequency was just off, and they had to stop the show. And luckily, I was actually trying to help pull it back, but luckily we stopped the show, and then the crew came out and got it. But it almost took a nosedive. Yeah.
Ramin, what about you? Did your boat ever sink?
No, but it did get washed ashore, so to speak. So we had to. I can't remember how we did. I don't know. We probably walked on water and made it all like she was floating. Oh my God! Just get over there.
You're the Phantom. You're the Phantom. You can do anything. So
yeah. Magical. What about you, Panaro?
I'm what's coming to mind, and I'm trying to remember. I realized it was Sandra Joseph was Christine, and it was actually the second journey back to the lair, down that path into the darkness, deep as hell, and the boat just kind of stopped, and we were just stranded there. And I don't know what happened. Maybe I had seen like Mommy Dearest too many times or something. But I turned into Joan Crawford Phantom, and I went, "Get out of that boat!" and I grabbed Sandra Joseph like by the thing. I was like, "Get out of that boat!" And we ran off stage.
I have a scene with Howard doing it. Exactly. Here's Howard doing it where the boat actually works.
In all your fantasies, you always knew that man and mystery are both you.
Still got it.
Oh my God.
Hey,
I couldn't see who Christine was.
I think it's Sandra Joseph. I think it was the longest running one. Right? I think it was. Hey, guys, we got to take a doctor's break. You know, this is still pandemic thing. So we're going to bring on Dr. John LaPook. Hey, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting. We're getting these donations.
Right.
Keep those donations coming. You donate. You see on the bottom, you donate at NAACPLDF.org/Stars in the House. Then forward it, Stars in the House 2020.
You'll get a donation receipt from NAACP-LDF, and then forward that to Stars in the House 2020.
Actually, I just got the first one.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
So
you're gonna send it to, and then we'll have Dr. LaPook
since Hugh Panaro, you're in a full tech panic, I'm gonna show how you don't have to be. Please read these lovely donations from everybody. I just texted you. Is your phone on?
Where's my phone?
You know what?
I got it.
Get out of that phone.
What am I reading?
The donations that everyone just gave to the NAACP.
He's cut off.
$20 from Maya. $20 from Kelly. $25 from, I'm going to say it both ways, Genevieve or Genevieve. $100 from Jessica. $50 from Felicia. Bye, Felicia. $25 from Susan. $50 from Kate. $20 from Sam in LA. $100 from Trevor from Toronto. $100 from Amy in Minneapolis.
Amazing.
This is so great. Okay, so
work for me.
I think you mean hi, Felicia. Okay, we're gonna have a doctor's break. We're gonna bring you clowns back right after. So keep those donations coming. That was a ton of donations.
Yeah.
And then we'll send them to another Phantom right after this.
Fans.
I'm gonna read what the LDF is while you talk to Dr. LaPook. I'm gonna find the information. Okay.
Okay, Dr. LaPook.
Hi,
I love you. The we'll bring you clowns back later. It's such respect. You're distinguished guests.
Cut.
They know it's a loving use of the word clowns.
Thank you.
All right, you're going to look up the definition.
LDF information.
So, Dr. LaPook, you know how I said yesterday what I was going to ask you a question today?
Yeah.
My question was if you had heard or read any of the literature about the chances of some of the problems being more intense, for lack of a better word, for people who have type A blood. Do you know anything about that?
There are some. I don't think that's established at all yet. These are associations, not big enough numbers. They're trying to look at whether certain blood types or genetic makeups could make them more susceptible. It wouldn't surprise me for some reason that we don't quite understand. We're learning stuff all the time about this, but we're looking for risk factors. Good for you for seeing that. I saw that too, but it wasn't convincing to me. I read something today that really bugged me. Somebody was quoted in the paper as saying, look, in terms of whether you wear face masks when you're out, in public, look, we're all adults. People understand the risk. If they want to take the risk, then they can take the risk. You're not just taking the risk for yourself. You're rolling the dice for yourself and for somebody else. That's super important. And for those people who may be thinking, okay, well, I don't care that much about protecting somebody else. If there's somebody who thinks that way, there's increasing literature that you're actually protecting yourself too, that it goes both ways. So which kind of makes sense.
We went to a protest this afternoon in our little town where we live, and I would have to say there are probably like 300 people there, very rural, and everyone was wearing a mask. Yes. Here's a picture of us.
That's great.
And I would say for the most part, we talked about staying, even though we had theater friends who went. We said hi to them in the parking lot ahead of time and kept our distance and just did that for a hug, from a distance. And then we already told them ahead of time we'd be hanging out in the back. So they knew we didn't feel pressure that we needed to stay close to them. We kept the distance. And I would say even at the rally afterward, we were, it's hard to be 6 feet apart from someone
in a protest.
But
as long as you're wearing masks.
But everyone was wearing masks. We wore glasses. And I would say we stayed 4 or 5 feet apart. I mean, I felt as safe, we were saying in the car afterward, as if we were going to a grocery store and still keeping, the distance and all of that.
I love hearing this because this is testament to knowledge, right? You understand that there are different things that you can do, layers of keeping yourself safe. And once you understand those, it's not magic. So you try to stay at least 6 feet if you can, but from that article I just told you about, that 3 feet away, 1 meter in this big analysis lowered the risk by 82%. It doubles then for the next 3 feet, so you get to over 90%, even more for the next 3 feet. So each bit of difference really matters. Outside's better than inside. Ventilation, if you're inside, is super important. Wearing the mask is super important, especially now that we're seeing, especially indoors, we're seeing that aerosolization where the little particles can go out are playing a role. Francis Collins, the head of the NIH, National Institutes of Health, just tweeted out today something saying that those masks are really important in terms of protection. The WHO finally came out officially and said they recommend, the World Health Organization, they recommend masks. So
finally.
Well, it's nice to know, though, that you don't have to freak out. And in fact, if you do these measures, this is the thing. If you do these measures, you could safely start to get the country back going to some sense of normalcy. It won't be perfect, but in those areas where there's fewer infections, you can think about going out. It's less risky in areas with lower infections. That's why you have to do the testing. But in those areas, you wear the masks, you do the belt and suspenders. When you're inside, you open the door, open the window, get ventilation. Think about these things. And look, then it's not going to be 100% safe unless you stay at home in a bubble. Nobody wants to do that now. But if you have this knowledge, I love the fact that you were able to put it together and say, all right, I couldn't quite do the 6 feet. I'm going to do 4 feet, but I'm wearing a mask. And I'm washing my hands, and I'm not touching my face. At the end of the day, you do what you can do.
And I would say it made me feel better being there too, because they were handing out water bottles, and I saw someone, I haven't even told you this, Seth, and someone took a water bottle, said thank you. They did it at a distance like that, and then they had their hand sanitizer and put it over the bottle.
Thank you.
I mean, everyone that I saw there was being very, very smart and respectful.
Yeah.
That is the word. There's the word, respectful. When I'm wearing a mask, and Tony Fauci said this, right? If I'm wearing a mask, I'm showing respect for you. It's a statement about my respect for you. Also, I'm protecting myself.
Yes.
Right.
All right. You're back again. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dr.
Dr.
LaPook. Love seeing you.
Take care.
Night.
All right. Speaking of masks, let's bring on these masks mofos. We've
They're
got
not wearing a mask.
the longest running.
There we go.
Howard McGillin. We've got the man I've known the longest out of anybody here. We've got the one who texted me a lot of sassafras I'm not interested in. Didn't ask. We've got my fellow piano player, Hugh Panaro. Hey, I want to talk to you guys about what it's like playing opposite the Christines. Do you guys get along with them off stage, or are they so demure on stage that you're like, don't talk to me? Like, do you guys connect with your Christines? What's the deal?
Well, I'll go first because when I went in, it was a big deal, and Sierra Boggess came. She says that she came out of retirement for playing Christine because she's played, I think, with most of us here, and it was a joy because she's been my daughter and now she's my lover, and it was just weird. But we had a great time, and she really helped me in my process. But then the other Christines have been wonderful as well. There was one young lady that came in while I was still there who was plucked out of college, and she was 19 going on 20. And I'm older than her parents. So I went to her parents and said, I just want you to know I'm going to be kissing on your daughter. Right. And I want to get permission, so just to let you know. But it's all of the young ladies I've been working with were fantastic.
What about you, Howard?
They're all great. I mean, really, Christine and Raul are the only two people in the show that you actually have any contact with before the show or even after the show, because you're, especially at the Majestic, because the dressing room situation is such that the Phantom and Christine and Raul are over on one side, and the rest of the company more or less is on the other side of the building, and so you never see them. So, and because you're there first, you get there for makeup, you're there before 7 o'clock every night, and you sit in the chair until after the curtain has gone up. So you never see anyone before the show except Christine and Raul. And
what about don't you guys hang out with
So you bond.
Wait, who was your first? Sandra Joseph, was she your first one, Howard?
She was not. My first Christine was Adrienne McGillin, who was fantastic, and also Sarah Pfisterer. The two, Sarah and Adrienne, were my first two Christines.
And Ramin, you were with Sierra. You Panaro, you did it with Rebecca, right?
Well, my very first Christine, now this is when I was Raul, was Rebecca Luker.
Yeah.
And she was at my, final callback, and she actually read with me. So I always feel like that was the good luck charm that put me there.
Well, two things I want to say about Rebecca, because a lot of people know that Rebecca was diagnosed with ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. She's doing a major fundraiser next week for this amazing drug that can help people that have ALS. And if you follow her on Twitter, it's Rebecca J. Luker. You can get tickets for her fundraiser, and she's going to be on the show actually talking about it. But Hugh, I have a video of you singing with Rebecca. Not really, but it's Rebecca's voice. And because she's not there, you have to do your own makeout scene. Here we go.
Share each day with me, each night, each morning. Say you love me. You know I do. Love me, that's all I ask of you.
Stupid.
I don't have one joke.
Okay, so Ramin, you did it with Sierra, and we did a concert together. You, me, and Sierra. And I thought she was very rude to you, And I think that mofo needs to apologize. I would call her if I could, but I don't even have her phone number.
No, I got nothing to say to any of these boys. I got nothing to say.
I was going to say
we don't like you either.
No one knows you.
Look how beautiful you look, Sierra. I told Sierra like a minute ago to come on this. You look amazing, by the way. Hold on. Everyone's writing about you. My God, I can't even. I was going to wait. Here it is. My first Broadway show
cover all of them.
that I ever saw was Little Mermaid with Sierra Boggess and Norm Lewis. So it was while coming back to see them both in Phantom of the Opera years later. Very different relationship. But you were shooting sparks.
She had daddy issues.
Yeah, major daddy issues.
So Sierra, now we can hear the real stories. Tell us what it's like working with these clowns. Exactly.
I came with all the tea. I'm bringing all the tea tonight. Which one do you want me to start with?
Start with your very first one.
My very first one was Ramin.
Yeah.
Oh. Where was that?
The very first time Ramin and I did it, though, was Love Never Dies. So we started with the sequel.
Oh.
And
now that's where. And what's that? Christine is like 75 years old. Like what the hell is the story? Is she like an old hag?
Absolutely. You know, when you think old hag, you get Sierra Boggess. You're like, you know who should play the old hag? Sierra Boggess. She just completed The Little Mermaid, where she was 16 years old. And now she will play the old hag.
Wait, so how many years later, like Christine, the Phantom of the Opera ends, how many years later is the sequel?
10 years.
Oh.
10 long years.
And Ramin, what was it like creating like a brand new show with Sierra? How exciting was that? Was it amazing or was it nerve-wracking?
all of the above. But I know she's here, and it'd be easy to kind of like try and find some stories to dig at each other. But she was the best partner you could have for that, and a best friend to work and create something like that. And it was the best time. I had a great time. It was so much fun, and it was such a long process, but it was never dull. It's like one thing after another, and we just kept rising and learning and going again and trying again. Just the recording process. By the time we got to stage to actually do the show, it's like you can't throw anything else at us. We're good to go.
So thrilling.
It was wonderful.
Did you get to see it, Norm Lewis?
I saw it because I was doing Les Mis over there, and I got to see those two. And what had happened before I got there, there was this viral video of the two of them, and then basically Ramin had become like this viral, like, who's this guy? Who's this voice? You know, till I hear her sing once more. You know, that kind. It was like, shit, he's amazing. So I couldn't wait to see the show, plus to see Sierra, and I surprised you because you didn't know I was going to be there. And they made the show. They really did. The cast was awesome, but they really made the show.
I love it. I wish I'd seen it. Are you guys on the video, the DVD, whatever it's called?
No.
That's not cool.
Well, we had left the show already. So basically, we originated the London version, and then both Ramin and I were leaving. And they asked us to come to Australia. And we just needed, it had been a really long process. And I'd been away for so long, too. I wanted to go back to New York. And so we ended up not doing the Australian production. And then they ended up filming it to try and get people, investors, to look at it so that no one can really fly to Australia and see if they could get that to work to bring it to New York. But we were gone.
I don't blame you.
Hey, Norm, I sent you some donations on the donations, you guys. People love Phantom, and they are being so supportive.
And I'm going to tell you, by the way, I'm going to tell you what it is before you read it. People are just donating without knowing the specifics. The NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund is America's premier legal organization fighting for racial justice. Through litigation, that means fighting, advocacy, and public education, LDF seeks structural changes to expand democracy, eliminate disparities, as we all know about on Broadway, and achieve racial justice in a society that fulfills the promise of equality for all Americans. Ramin, I'm including you because you're a Canadian American and you're British. LDF also defends the gains and protections won over the past 75 years of civil rights struggle and works to improve the quality and diversity of judicial and executive appointments. So they are a great organization.
Yes.
Northwest, what have we got so far?
Cynthia from California, $100. Victoria from New York, $50. Matthew from Massachusetts, $50. Jacqueline from New York, $15. Kathy from Florida, $50. Eileen from Virginia, $50. And Robert from New York, $25. Yeah.
Nice placement. Nice placement. So, Sierra, what would you say is the difference between each Phantom? Like, one makes out with you and you feel a scar. I don't know. Like, what's the difference out of all three?
Well, it is funny. As soon as you get to the end, depending on how crazy it's been, what month it is in New York, when you get to the end, it's like how sweaty is the Phantom makeup when you're kissing it? Because y'all know it's like everybody's just like, when you get to that moment, it's like, oh, here we go, because people are sweating their makeup off, and it's just like maybe a lip is still on, and you're just like, yeah. That's what it is.
And you know, there was a little bit of a sadist in Hal Prince. Hal Prince wanted Thelma. He brought Thelma out onto the stage in the original production and said, smear some sticky, gooey stuff on his face because I want her to feel a disgusting thing when she touches him. You know, I remember when we were rehearsing one scene in the show where the Phantom drags himself across the, Stranger Than You Dreamt It, where he's dragging himself across the stage. And he said, are you in pain? Are you having any discomfort? And I said, well, it's not exactly comfortable. He said, good. I want it to be. That was part. And to his credit, it was making it right. But there was something about Hal that I think enjoyed a little bit of, kind of making the actors suffer a little bit. I think he had some fun with that.
It's cinema verite.
Yes.
So Sierra, which one would any of them break character, or were they all professional? Oh, go.
No, because you can't. Well, first of all, we're not on stage together long enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're actually not on. See each other until intermission. Like, I mean, Norm and I had this just intermissions of complete just ridiculousness. There's many photos of us just acting like idiots. But it's true. It's like as soon as you get on stage with that show in particular, there isn't time. Like with Les Mis, all of us know it's like there are so many ways to mess around during Les Mis because it's 3 hours of the most depressing material ever. Like nothing is okay for anyone. So you just start just like making all kinds of crazy stuff happen during that show. But with Phantom, I don't remember. I mean, I don't think so, you guys.
No.
Did any of you guys ever break character and laugh on stage from something?
No.
Howard?
I've made up words.
Oh.
So what song?
Oh, Music of the Night, you name it. I've made up. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, when you do something as many times as I did that show, your brain starts to wander. You can't help it. I mean, no matter how, every night, and I will tell you this, I mean this, I'm being sincere. Every night I went out there trying to do the best show I possibly could. But there were times where and suddenly you'd be thinking about, did I turn the coffee pot off before the matinee? And so you suddenly think, oh my God, where am I? What did I just sing? So yeah, I would start making up some interesting things from time to time.
Panaro.
Norm knows this story, and I don't think Sierra. I think Sierra had left, but when I knew that my brother Norm was coming in after me, all of us will remember. In the makeup is absolutely magnificent. There is a kind of a circular. See, he knows
a dimple,
a pit, a big like circular pit in the makeup that's just filled in. And right before he was coming in, I found the cutest little picture of Norm. And I cut it out in a circle and I put it into my makeup. So that when I went to Christine, I went, and eternity of mist before your eyes. And it was Norm Lewis. And I said, I have a picture of it. I will send it to you. Thelma, I'm still sorry I did that. I didn't mean to do that, but it was worth it.
Did you get in trouble?
Prepares you.
Oh, nobody knew.
Hugh was so happy when Sierra got cast. I actually had the moment where Hugh was filled with joy that Sierra was cast. Sierra is cast, and here's his reaction. Such joy.
That's about right.
Well, Sierra and I met long before Phantom. We sang on the Today Show. Tell them, Sierra. We sang a song, Dear Little Ladybug.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, when I was doing Little Mermaid, you were doing Phantom. And then they put us together. It was back when they did those, it was like Kathy Lee wrote those songs.
Yes, David Friedman.
Yeah, everyone has a story. Yeah, everyone has a story.
Like, you have a story, and I have a story, and you have a story, and we have a story. And we learned that song about the ladybug, and we sang.
We were there at like 5 a.m. at the crack of crack. And
well, that's a morning show. Well, wait a minute. I didn't even see you sound check, but I want you to sing something. Play and sing something for us, Phantom of the Opera style.
No. Okay. So Norm is like one of my besties, if not my bestie, and he's like, he knows this. I just talked to him the other day, and he's been helping me get through current events because he's so eloquent and graceful. And this song I actually picked because it was one of my grandfather's favorite songs, and I just want to say that I was really blessed to grow up in a household. I mean, we had our stuff, But one thing that I can always say about my mom and my dad and my grandfather, we were a 3-generation home. They taught me and my brother to love everybody and to treat everybody the same. And to literally, you know, that the Pope and the man that collects your garbage, we are all the same. And so that's why I thought, well, I'm going to sing for you. So, and my piano's really out of tune. I really wish Seth was here. But so here we go.
I'm a piano tuner. All right, I'm going to read everybody.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
River, wider than a mile, crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, river,
That last chord was for you, Seth.
I love how high the whole thing was too. You still got it on the high notes. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Bring back all the ladies. Bring back all the ladies. Okay, Ramin.
Actually, Sierra.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent you some donations. Did you get them?
I just got donations.
They are rolling in. These Phantom fans are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one's really cool. Esther from Singapore. That is awesome. What time is it there? Jeez.
Ask Ramin.
I can't hear Sierra.
You
Can't?
can't? Oh, that happens sometimes. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Can you still hear
Ramin,
me?
I'm gonna kick you out and then just come back. That happens sometimes. Just come right back, okay?
That's the break.
Bye, Ron. Okay, Sierra, spill the dish.
Okay.
What did you really like?
Yeah, give all the tea. Okay, he's gone, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about that. Ooh. Just censored. Okay, am I reading this?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
Continue.
Okay. Esther from Singapore gave $8. Emily $10. Melissa $150. Tiffany $100. Gail $100. Oh my God. Everybody's so generous. Amanda $25. Jenny $50. Susan $50. Helen $50. Darlene $150.
Wow.
Yes, Queen. Ramin, did you hear that?
I got most of it. That's fantastic.
Did you
all we
hear
need.
it? Did you hear any of the comments she made while you were gone?
About you?
I know.
It's all good. Hey, Ramin, how old is this little tyke now? That's your little boy, right?
Oh, that's Jaden. He's 15 now. He's about to turn 16 next month.
Wow.
Okay, so wait, Ramin, you got to tell everybody. I don't know, especially Howard. You don't really know. Please tell them about your very first time on as a Phantom, because Norm was talking about how small it is in the Angel when it rises up. Please talk about that.
Well, Norm was correct. There's hardly any room, and as you turn around and after you do your I gave you my music, and then it's the same in New York. You will curse a day you did not do, and as you're hitting the end of that sentence, it starts rising, right?
Yeah.
So as you're holding you, it's going up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I guess place my foot in the one place where you shouldn't put it, and then as I'm hitting you, my foot was on wherever was in the angel. It was hit the proscenium, and then it was stuck. I felt like my foot was crushing. I'm like, what's going on? So it's like, yeah, what's going on? So instinct, you just yank, right? You just yanked it out. I was out. So I was like, oh, great. So I go to do the chandelier bit. Go! Not going anywhere because the angel didn't dock properly. So the computers do a shutdown out of safety because it doesn't know whether the angel's there or down there. So it won't drop the chandelier. So I shouted go again, thinking that might do it because I didn't know there was an override system at this point. After 2 shouts of go, I thought it's not going to go. So I go. That was it. So my first you invite all your friends and family, and there's no chandelier.
So devastating. Has the chandelier ever not dropped for any of you guys?
No.
Hugh. Why, Hugh? Why did it not drop?
Stuff happens. I don't know.
So is there any plan B?
I was stuck in the angel once all through intermission. They couldn't get the angel up, and so I just, as we all know, we were all just hankered down, and I literally started to cramp up. So I just kind of put my head up, and the audience was waving to me. You gotta stay in character because the Phantom's not going to be like.
That happened to me once.
Really?
I made the mistake of like you were there for ages, and then you like. They all start taking photos. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna say it like this. That was after a while. It got unnerving though.
They had to get a hand crank, and mechanically with a hand crank, and got us. Yeah.
Wow.
Really? But you know what? I think those nights are amazing because
they're the best.
The audience will always remember that night, and they're like, "Remember the night that we were at Phantom and the angel got stuck, and we waved to the Phantom."
My best memory of something going wrong had nothing to do with technology. I was in the angel. It just reminded me because we were talking about the angel, and the whole rooftop scene takes place for those who are watching. And Gary Maurer, who was playing Raoul, got violently ill and ran off the stage to throw up. And Lisa Broman, who was playing Christine, sang both parts of All I Ask of You.
Wow.
An entire chorus by Lisa Broman. And the audience loved every second of it. They probably didn't know what was going on, but that was a feat. That was an amazing thing.
Wow.
That's brilliant. That's Christina.
Yeah, she's a narcissist.
No, she's ahead of her time. She's like, I don't need this man.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
She's like, that's all I ask of me. You know what?
I will say, going back to the difficult part of being in the show, you're stuck not only in the angel, but you're stuck in the cross.
Wow.
And you're there all through wishing. And as lovely as Sierra sounded, and as all the other young ladies sounded, you're like, can we hurry this up? Because I can't breathe. It's so hot in there.
It's so hot.
And you're like, literally, you only have this much space. So you're sideways in it. And yeah, anyway, I'm telling all the secrets now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who knew?
I have a question for all the other Phantoms because of that, because of the cross, because I got busted more than once and I didn't even know what was happening. Have any Ramin, Norm, Howard, have you ever been approached by stage management and said, actress playing Christine can hear you humming in the cross. Shut up.
No.
I didn't know I was singing along.
No. But
He's giving himself a warm up.
But I will say that after you come out of the cross, you have to step backwards like blindly, and you have a cape on, so you have to be careful not to fall down those stairs. But you also have this stick that has fire in it, so you have to aim it correctly so you don't like blow up her dress. Because if you hit it wrong, it could like blow the dress up. So you always say what?
Man, freeze.
Yeah. Oh,
there he is. What'd you say, Howard? You froze.
I said, or your face, or your
exactly.
Wow.
It's very dangerous.
I
Did
I remember one of the Phantoms actually set his wig on fire during the final layer because he's carrying some kind of fire stick in the end.
Yeah.
And he burns the rope, right, so that Raul escapes. But he set his hair on fire.
Yes.
Whose wig is on fire? Hey, Ramin, I just sent you a couple of donations. We just got 4 quickly. Would you read?
Yes, sir.
They're all coming in so much.
For those you haven't sent yet.
No, but tell me to send one.
Okay.
Well, that's all right.
Now?
Hit it.
Go, Ramin.
We got Rose at $25. Megan at $20. Vienna, $20. And Josh, $200.
Wow.
Yes, queen.
Josh.
And we've already gotten more coming in, so we'll send them to,
Yeah, we'll send them to
Howard.
Hey, Howard, what's this photo?
So that was my last night at Phantom. And before I left, I knew everybody, of course, because I'd been there so long, that I went around to every department in the theater before my last show and took pictures, and they had all those masks. That was the wardrobe department.
Yeah, sure.
So they all had their masks. So that was my
I
last.
love it.
That
Hey,
was cool.
Normie, I found this video of you where you basically tease your song and then you basically harass me to buy tickets. Here, let's watch.
Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge all thoughts of the life you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And if you want to hear the rest of that song, you got to come to the Majestic Theater.
Love it.
Got a lot of sass. Send that to Howard.
Okay.
Ramin, I want to talk to you guys all about the A flat because I always had such anxiety. By the way, people don't know I played piano for that show for like 10 years off and on because I was Norman's understudy, not Norman understudy, and also David Lies. So I was always playing. But that A flat gave me an anxiety attack. Are you going to tell me like that note was always so easy, or were you guys always in a panic during it?
Are you asking?
Oh, Ramin, what about you?
No, but at the beginning of this conversation, you asked if anyone took it down, and I wanted to go, was that an option? Because I wish I had that memo.
Where you long to be.
No, dear.
So powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, well,
So
what was the hardest thing about doing the show vocally? What was the, oh God, am I going to get through this moment in the show for you guys vocally?
I will say for me, and I hate to jump in, but because I was the lower voice, I had anxiety about that because the Phantom is known for its pure, the music is very lush, but it's vacant. And it's all about the pureness of your voice. And that's what everybody knows. They know Michael Crawford, they know Howard McGillin, they know, all these beautiful tenors. And I was nervous that my voice would not, it would be accepted. And also to stay pure throughout that show.
But you always were.
Huh?
Well, you always were. So it was a worry for no reason. What else was everybody worried about? Hugh, what was scary for you vocally? Nothing really. Whatever.
No. It was such a, it's like anything else when we, especially if you take over a role and you inhabit something, it always felt really nice. I mean, like, when you try on a pair of pants in the fitting room and they go, oh, these really fit good in all the right places. It was kind of like, it felt good. So it wasn't really, it was not like stressful. The most stressful thing, I will speak for myself, was the makeup. Because when I loved like understudy rehearsals or like put-in rehearsals where we didn't have to wear the makeup, where you could just kind of like sing the show and not have any of the accoutrement on top of you. But I found, I don't know if I've never talked about this with any of the other men. After I didn't do it as long as Howard, but I did find that after many performances, the muscles on the right side of my face started to atrophy from being kind of held in place by the prosthetic, even though it's soft. Wow. And when I left the show, I had to kind of like do almost like rehabilitation therapy on that side of my face to kind of get things back. I remember smiling once in a voice lesson, and my teacher was like, "You kind of look like you had a minor stroke because everything was just kind of being, held in position." So I really was curious to see if any of the other men had ever felt anything like that from the makeup. And maybe I'm just a weirdo. I don't know.
No, I didn't do it long enough. So
Howard. Anything from the makeup, Howard?
Well, his face is frozen now. Oh, what?
Everything is frozen. Right. I'm frozen. What happened? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, it's back. Okay.
Still got it.
No, I'll tell you what really did affect me with the makeup was my pillowcases on my bed were always ruined from the glue. I was so angry. I would go out and buy really nice sheets or nice pillowcases, and suddenly I'd find glue on them every day. Because that was a fact. You start living with glue. I know everyone sitting here knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Glue was a constant.
No, I took a shower after the show.
What's that?
Wow.
Yeah, next time try that.
I didn't think of that, Hugh. I should have thought of that.
Howard, check your phone so you can read donations, and hopefully you will not freeze during the reading. But you're already frozen, so we'll see.
Yep.
Did you get?
Tell me when I'm not frozen.
Okay, you're unfrozen.
Okay.
Yes.
$100 from Markham and Rich. $100 from. Yeah.
I know
Go
those.
Markham.
Yay.
Go Markham. $100 from Jessica from Philly. Patricia, $25. Brittany, $100. Marshall, $50. Desiree, I love that name, Desiree,
yes.
$40. And RJ, $25.
Yeah.
Thank you, donation. Hey,
Markham and Rich, I know you, and thank you.
Ramin, I'm like obsessed with your A flat because you opt out of breathing before it. Did that make it easier for you, or are you just a show off?
No, sometimes I find it's Sierra's all.
I'm like, ask me that question.
Ask me.
Such a bitch.
No, sometimes you just take a little breath, and it's easier just to keep going and then like stop and start and reactivate it.
Why don't we watch? Listen how great it sounds. I'm obsessed with it.
No, don't play this shit.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be.
Yes, Queen. You still got it.
Got it.
So, Sierra, should I do a Christine reunion? I should get some of the Christines here, shouldn't I?
Yes, absolutely yes.
And what about a reunion of all the different women that have done Greedy?
Greedy.
It's an inside Phantom joke, people. Okay, so before we go, poor Ramin stayed up till 2 a.m. and I'm going to make him sing last. Ramin, get that guitar.
I want to say something after Ramin sings, though.
Okay.
Ooh.
I want to say something while Ramin's singing.
What else is new? All right, we got a beautiful song. And guys, don't forget, the NAACP, LDF, I know it's not a jokey, but man, they're really needed right now. So these donations are amazing because people are getting arrested for no reason. Like, they are really, really helping. So the donations are amazing. NAACP, LDF. My friend Marty Gould Cummings got arrested in New York. He was just really marching peacefully. Yeah, it's like boom, man. So keep those donations coming. All right, Ramin, let's hear some beautiful music with no breath, the entire song.
You're gonna keep Sierra there? Okay, you can dance to this.
Okay.
Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes in her own special way to the people she calls. Come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little bird, show them you care, and you'll be glad if you do. Oh, the young ones are hungry, the nests are so bare, all it takes is tuppence from you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead the birds fill the sky. All around the cathedrals, the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see it, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you. Feed the birds, tuppence a bag, tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Her words are simple and few. Listen, listen, she's calling you. Oh, feed the birds, tuppence a bag. Tuppence, tuppence, tuppence a bag. Listen, listen, listen.
Yes, on the high notes. Ramin, so beautiful. What time is it there for real?
2:30. Mandy's gonna kill me.
Oh, sorry, man. Okay, so before we go, Norm Lewis, we need to talk. We need to talk to you. Norm Lewis, what would you like to say? Because Ramin's amazing.
Say it again.
What would you like to say? Because we want to talk to you before we sign off anyway. But what do you want?
I just want to say, first of all, thank you again, you and James, for doing all that you've done, and also having Dr. LaPook on and giving us all this knowledge. I feel that we're all going through, the world's on fire right now. It started with the pandemic, it's with economics and all this stuff, and now with Black Lives Matter. And it's interesting. I feel like we're going through this mud in order to blossom some roses pretty soon. I actually feel hopeful. It's when you have countries like England and Italy and even Japan protesting and saying Black Lives Matter. I think that there's going to be a societal shift, and I really am feeling hopeful. I know we're going through it right now, and we have to go through it, but we're going to come out better for it on the end. And so I'm glad to be in this fraternity of phantoms, And I'm honored to know all three of these guys, and even that young lady by the name of Sierra Boggess. But thank you so much for having this platform, and continue with the great work that you're doing.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you.
We love you.
Love you.
Before we go, it's so interesting. I got so emotional when you were talking because I thought change is really being made, but I thought, like, how does it feel for you to know that you're really a leader? I mean, like, you're one of the people that can say he was like the first Black Phantom. Like, how does that feel to know that you've made a worldwide change from your career?
Well, what's interesting about that, I didn't really know that at the time, and then it became a thing, and I'm honored to have that title. But what's even bigger than that for me is that people after the show, they would come up to me from different countries, from Brazil, India, saying, now I feel like I can be a part of this show and maybe play the Phantom one day. So if I can open that door, any of my colleagues who are African-American or people of color could have played this role, but I was the lucky one to get the role. But it was bigger than that. It's bigger than me being the first African-American on Broadway. So, and I stand on the shoulders of Robert Guillaume, being the first African-American to do it. But I just know that the OGs, Audra and Stokes and a lot of us, the older crowd of the African-Americans on Broadway, we are coming together with something, and we're going to be doing some positive things very soon.
Excellent.
I don't know if they want to be called the older ones.
No, that's what we call ourselves, the OGs. Yeah, the older crowd. Yeah, so we're good.
The seasoned actors.
It's interesting because Leslie Uggams and Mary Wilson and who else was on this week? I've already forgotten. Well, Wilson Cruz for sure, who's a pioneer also.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even at the march today, all of these African American leaders that are from our little town were all everyone's been optimistic.
Yeah, there's real positivity out there.
Yeah,
and it's not Pollyanna-ish.
Yeah. No, I think because the world is screaming now, instead of just a subset of people screaming and not being heard, the world is screaming. So.
I love it. I'm so glad he said something. You guys, I can't say how popular the show is and how much money you raised.
All the money.
I mean, this is like just a smattering of the money.
This is just who donated, who went to the trouble of forwarding us their donation receipt. You know what I mean? Like, there's steps involved. Yeah. So I'm sure more money was raised. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you all. I so appreciate it. Thank you all for singing. Sierra, thank you for your sassafras. There's nothing. You're gonna come back with the Christines. Howard, we're gonna do a Drood reunion for sure.
Oh yeah. Yes.
You, the piano playing, the crazy high key. Ramin, is this your third appearance, second appearance? Second appearance? I can't remember. You did it, right? You did it with Angela Weber. I don't remember.
Yeah, Angela Weber and Sierra. We were on for his birthday,
Oh, right. That was so fun. Anyway, you guys are all going to be back. I got to do closing credits.
Yes, we'll do closing credits. What do you do, Seth? I would think you do play something from the panel.
Love you guys.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Love you so much.
Love
To do it 2 steps down.
Oh my God.